Hi, everyone. Welcome to our course, Email Marketing, and I am so excited to be hosting. I am your lecturer, Mijgon Bakhti. You can just call me Mij. And yes, welcome to the Module 1 of Introduction to Email Marketing. A little bit about me before we dive into this really amazing and interesting course. My name is, as I said earlier, Mijgon. You can just call me Mij. And I am a content marketer for B2B, business to business, and SaaS companies. SaaS means software as a service. I've been working as a marketer for B2B and software as a service companies for the past 3 years. And it's been really an exciting journey, and I've had a chance to learn a lot about building marketing strategies, about working for tech startups, and most of the jobs that I've had were in the US, Europe, and also Asia, Singapore. And I am really passionate about marketing and growth hacks. And I led content marketing team and incorporated email marketing practices in order to increase brand awareness and generate sales. And also at the moment, I am building my consultancy in B2B marketing. My goal is to have a chance to consult companies with their marketing strategies that also includes email marketing. And I am absolutely excited to have this chance to share some of my journey, some of my expertise with you, and see how you're growing with this knowledge. Let's go. So let's connect. I am on LinkedIn. And if you're interested in marketing strategies and entrepreneurship, follow me on LinkedIn. I share about my expertise, about the case studies that I have done with several businesses, general knowledge about marketing and how you could incorporate creative strategies to drive sales for the business. I post weekly content on marketing expertise and growth strategies, and I'd be happy just to connect with you and answer your questions if you have any. Let's go. So in this course, we will have 4 modules. So we're going to have the module number 1, which is mainly going to talk about email marketing, which is our today topic. And we have module number 2, where we're talking about crafting compelling email content. It's very important because the goal of this journey is for you to be able to learn to craft compelling copy. And module number 3, which is email marketing tools and platforms. As an email marketer, you really need to know how to navigate and what kind of tools and platforms are out there. And as well as module number 4, where we're going to talk about benchmarking your results. As you know, it's aside from having a chance to strategize email marketing, aside from having a chance to craft compelling email content, it's also very important to be able to improve your results. It's also to be able to benchmark your results. It's also very important to track your KPIs to see what strategies are working, what's not working, because your main goal is to drive sales. So in today's course, we're going to study about introduction to email marketing. We're going to just dive into the very basics, into the fundamental knowledge. I want you to know what is email marketing, why is it important, what role it plays in marketing in general. Also, we're going to learn about customer value journey and email marketing. Basically, more information is going to be on the next slides. And also, we're going to learn about 3 types of email marketing. There are 3 types of email, and I really want you to catch up on that. And we're going to have a task where we can assess how much have you learned and also how much have you progressed. So upon completion of this amazing course, you will be able to understand the influence of email marketing, how important it is for the business, and what can you do to drive success to the business. Also, you will be able to build email strategies for brands, because right now you have this expertise and your strategic mindset, and I'm sure some of you have creativity, so that's really exciting. As well as you will have a chance to learn how to craft effective newsletters, and upon completion of this course, you will be able to do this for your clients. And the last but not least, I'm going to teach you about advancing your copywriting and hooks. This is very important for email marketing because aside from creating photos and videos, attaching it to the newsletter, it's also very important to have a good copywriting skills and the hooks. This is something that we're going to learn in this course. So if you're wondering why are you here, I think I have the answer. You are here because you are passionate about sales or marketing or both. You're here because you really love copywriting. I get it. I love that too. And you're here because you might be building your own business. And even though you're not building your own business yet, you might be wanting at some point to build your own business. Maybe you want to have your own consultancy. Let's hope that's going to happen for sure. And most likely, you also want to dive into the world of digital marketing and become an expert. And this is the right place for you, and we totally support you. And we would love to give you all the tools and information for you to succeed. So let's start with the most important aspect of email marketing. Everybody has this tendency to say that email is dead. It's a very common thing probably for Indonesia because email marketing is not very popular in Indonesia. However, you'd be surprised that even in Western countries, either it's US, Europe, or New Zealand, even though email marketing has a huge demand, some even marketers assume that email doesn't bring any results to the business and nobody's really reading emails. And this is the biggest misconception, and I'll tell you why. Right in front of you, you are seeing a chart. And this chart is taken from one of the platforms that sells ebooks. So this platform, they decided to run a digital campaign across various marketing channels. And as you know, there are various marketing channels. Those marketing channels are Google, organic Google, Facebook, and Instagram, because this is the place where most of the people spend their time. So that it obviously makes sense to run marketing campaigns in these channels. Also, this platform runs the campaigns doing the paid ads on Facebook and on Instagram. And you'd be surprised that email was responsible for 65% of the money that came in. So if you can see the chart over here, email marketing has actually brought 65% more results than any other channels. So as you see, Google Organic is on the second place, and all the rest, they still brought the results, they still brought the sales, but not as much as email marketing. What does it tell to us? It tells us that email is not dead. It's absolutely not dead. Well, let's continue. Another proof that email is not dead is this report that I'm sharing with you. It's from Opt-in Monster. So they had a research and they reported that when they did a research and a comparison between 3 big social media channels such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as you can see on this graphic below, social media only brings 0.58% of engagement rate. Email open rates are 22.86%. And email CTR, which is click-through rate, is 3.71. This really shows a huge power and a huge influence that email marketing brings. Well, and this is another reason for us to learn about the email marketing tactics and apply it for our digital campaign. Aside from this, I'd like to show you some other very interesting statistics. 4 billion active users above the age of 15. And generally, 99% of us check our emails every day. And some of us, as many as 20 times a day. And this gives us the opportunity to know that that's where the audience is. And email also drives anywhere between 36 to 44 dollars in revenue for every dollar spent. Usually marketers, they have a budget, right? They have a budget for marketing. And if they spend $1 for a campaign and they get 36 or $44 in return, you can see that the return on investment, or in marketing is called ROI, is huge, is very, very huge. So that means on average, email marketing comes in at a jaw-dropping 36 and 44 of return on investment. That's what I said earlier, which makes it by far the most profitable sales channel available compared to Facebook, which is only 1.5. So that concludes that there is no other marketing channel that provides more sales volume and velocity or return on investment than email marketing. So now that we know the potential of email marketing, now that we are sure what kind of advantages it brings to the business, it's time for us to learn the skills so that we could leverage it for our own purposes. So right now we're going to study about customer value journey and email marketing. If you don't know this, don't worry, we're going to teach you. So before we start diving into what email marketing is, I would want all of you to know basically the general idea of marketing, right? So most of us know that marketing, it's a direction that helps businesses to promote the services and products, right? That's how we know marketing, which is partially true. But right now, due to the digital age, marketing is growing. There's so many channels of marketing. Marketing is getting really broad. And before we dive into email marketing, I want us to know these 8 pillars of marketing. So the first pillar is digital strategy. It's basically creating the fundamentals and strategy for a brand. The second one is content marketing. It's basically creating the storytelling for the brand. The third one is digital advertising. This is paid ads, running Facebook ads, Google ads, and so on. The fourth one is email marketing. That's what we're studying today. And the fifth one is social media marketing. I am sure everyone is aware of this. This is also one of the most famous directions of marketing. Number 6, we have search marketing, which is SEO, search engine optimization. Then we have data analytics, and then we have optimization and testing. So now that you have this broad idea of the pillars of marketing, let me tell you how it works and how email marketing is effective. So I want us to understand the marketing funnel before diving into email marketing. So as we know, for a customer to become a purchaser, they will not purchase right away, right? They need to develop this trust. They need to have this accountability. They need to understand that we are solving their problem, we're bringing them value, and only then they will have a chance to purchase, to buy something from us. So that's why marketers decided, okay, we need to create a structure, which is a marketing funnel. Marketing funnel is basically awareness, consideration, conversion, and the last one is purchase, or loyalty in this case. So what it means is that before you purchase from a brand, you want to know about it. You're aware that there is this kind of brand exists. And then you're seeing maybe more content of this brand. You're seeing some interesting insights, the product, the unboxing, let's say. So you're considering, you're saying, okay, I think I'm interested. I might buy this. And the more you're seeing this brand, the more it pops up on your social media, then you're actually saying, okay, I think I'm ready to purchase it, right? Once you purchased it, you're becoming a loyal fan of that brand. So this is a generic marketing funnel. So the one that I showed you before, it was a generic marketing funnel, right? But right now, I want us to understand about customer value journey. And I will let you know why is it important to understand this before diving into email marketing. As we see, this is more detailed, right? So let's have a look first. So we have aware, we have engage, we have subscribe, we have convert, we have excite, we have ascend, we have advocate, and we have promote. So what does that all mean, you might ask? So basically, that means that customer value journey is a step-by-step process of converting total strangers that have no idea about our brand. So the goal of customer value journey is convert those strangers into high-value customers and our brand promoters. So to be able to do that, we need to know customer value journey. We need to know what are the steps are. And guess what? Email marketing is also one part of customer value journey. And I'll tell you where is it exactly. So as you can see the chart over here, it has even more descriptions. Let's start with aware stage. So aware is when a customer sees an ad or a social media or finds, let's say you're Googling something and you're finding this website, or you hear from a friend, Then the customer is on the awareness stage. What does awareness mean? It means you know something. You know, okay, this brand exists. It sells some of the things that I might need. Then there is an engage stage. It's basically when a customer reads a blog post, probably engages on social media, it watches a video, and it's engaging with this brand, right? Like showing interest, maybe even following this brand, right? And then we have a subscribe stage. This is when the customer probably gives its personal information, probably an email or a phone number, right? In order to receive a value. And then we have a convert stage. So as you see, there is a dollar sign. Convert means the customer has bought something. So yeah, there you are. And after that, it's not ends there, right? There's still a process, there's still a stage. Then we have an excite stage. Basically, that's the time when customer gets value from the initial transaction. It's when customer gets happy, says, okay, this product is helpful. This product is solving my problem. So you are in an excite stage. And then there is an ascend stage. What does ascend mean? Ascend means when a brand sells, let's say, bracelets, you bought a bracelet, but then also brand sells you, let's say, necklaces. So you bought a bracelet, so now the brand can also sell you other things, right? It's upselling. So it's keeping you in the loop. So this is the ascend stage. And then we have the advocate stage. I think the name is very self-explanatory, right? Advocate. Successful customer who is happy with the product, gives the testimonial, gives the case study, whatever, right? You're basically becoming the advocate. And then the last one, we have a promote stage. Promote, again, the name is very self-explanatory. Promote means a successful customer tells a friend and colleagues about your brand. You're basically becoming an evangelist of a brand, right? And that's how it goes for all the brands, right? This is how it goes with the loop. That's how it goes. And to make it more clear for you, I think it would be better if I gave you a real life example. I think this is the way for you to understand how customer value journey works. Let's go. And I thought that the best example for that would be SGBVA. Since, as I know, you're the active users of SGBVA, you're always engaged. This is the best example for you to understand customer value journey. So you come across SGBVA through ads, right? Either through ads, either through Instagram, either through a friend's recommendation. What does that mean? What does that make you? It makes you in an aware stage. You're aware. Oh, okay, this is an interesting brand, right? This is an interesting direction. It teaches about something, right? Okay, like something interesting is happening there. You're aware about it. But this is not it, right? It doesn't make you a purchaser right away. You still want to know. You still want to observe. You still want to know, okay, what does it give actually? Next step, right? You read social media posts, right? Okay, you're on Instagram, you're scrolling down and you're watching, like seeing other content. So you read the social media posts, you're watching some videos, maybe you saved some posts, right? Or you're sharing to your friend, or you want to save it so you know you can get back to it later and decide. It means you are in an engaged stage. You are engaging with this brand. And then you have the next step, which is you giving your personal information, like your email, phone number to join a free webinar, right? Probably there's an announcement saying, okay, you know, you want to become a virtual assistant? Join our free webinar. We're going to give you a value, and then you can decide. Maybe you can join our other courses, right? So it means you're in a subscribe stage. You're giving away your personal information. Yes, you subscribe. Now we're moving to the next stage. So you have received, let's say you have entered the webinar and you decided that, okay, I will purchase a paid course from SGBVA. So it means you're in a convert stage. You've converted, you've paid, you're a converted customer. But this is not it, as I said. Then we're going to the part which is an excite stage. So now that you've converted, you're saying, okay, this course is giving me value. I think I might try it. Another, like there's other courses, probably there's a course of email marketing, social media, right? So you get the value. And then you're like, okay, you know what? I'm excited. This webinar was very useful. This course was very useful for me. And I'm interested. I'm excited. I love it. It changed my life. Now, you're like, okay, you purchase another course from SGBVA. So you become in an ascent stage, right? You're saying, okay, I loved it. I'm excited about it. I'm interested to know what are other resources, right? I want to buy another course. So you are in an ascent stage. So basically, SGBVA upsold to you. So you are in ascent stage. And now that you're happy from the knowledge that you've got, from the skills that you've got, the value that SGBVA gave you, you are automatically in an advocate stage. It means you want to share about this course with your friends, you want to tell about it, you want to share a story. Yeah, you just want to be an advocate of this brand. And the last, we have the promote stage. That's when you recommend it to your friends, to your family, and you're becoming the promoter and helping this brand, basically. So now the real question, the most important question. We have started with email marketing, how important it is, and then we started about general marketing, and then we switched to customer value journey. So the question is, what is email marketing? I'll tell you what is it. Email marketing, the role of email marketing is to seamlessly and subtly move users and customers through the entire customer value journey, right? So what I mean by that is, let's get back to this example. Let's say you have subscribed, right? You've given your personal information to SGBVA. You've subscribed to the webinar. Now SGBVA has your email address, right? So now this is a chance for SGBVA send you all kinds of emails, Renat, the emails that it shares about, okay, this is how we change your life. These are our interesting courses, so that you're kept in the loop, so that you're kept, engaging with the brand. So this is basically one of the biggest reasons why email marketing is important, because it helps to nurture those interested candidates that are about to become the purchasers. So basically the role of email marketing is to move the potential customers through the entire customer value journey. So let me give you another very interesting explanation of what is email marketing. Simply, in other words, email marketing is a type of digital marketing method that uses emails to engage with businesses' audiences. It involves sending promotional or informational content. Email marketing is typically used to create product or brand awareness and generate leads or sales. As I said, once you're sharing your email details to the brand that you've just maybe joined their webinar, right? This is a chance for the brand to inform you about, the promotions that they have, about the testimonials, so that you're engaged, and so that one day, potentially, hopefully, you become the customer. So email marketing can play a very pivotal role in companies' marketing strategy, because it helps to build customer relationship and keep customers engaged in between purchases. So before the customer purchases, as I said, we need to keep them engaged. We need to keep them, providing them and showing them and proving them why they need to become our customers, why they have to purchase our products or services, what kind of value, what are we going to provide to them, how are we going to solve their problem. And as an email marketing, you are a guest. You are a guest in your customer's inbox. So this allows you to communicate with them on a more personal level. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what's email marketing about. So as I mentioned earlier, right, where does email marketing stand in customer value journey, or CVG? So these are the red dots, right, that highlights where the email stands. So let's say if the brand has failed to ascend a customer, means ascend means to make a customer to buy another product, to make a customer to buy another course, right? This is a perfect opportunity for a brand to craft an email to get them excited about their first purchase, and then that they made at their convert stage. So basically, just a brief example saying, hey, we've seen that you've joined SGBVA course. It was really exciting that you had to join us. And did you know that there's another very interesting course that is coming up soon and it's going to solve this problem of yours? And you'll be like, okay, that's interesting. I think, I would want to keep an eye on that. So yes, this is a very great chance for brands to leverage that. Similarly, if you fail to convert a customer, so basically, if the customer still hasn't purchased anything from you, you need to engage with the customer through email and communicate the value that they will get from their purchase. You need to keep sending different kinds of interesting emails and a really good copywriting and telling them why they have to purchase it. And, it needs to be done very creatively, very subtly, very personalized manner. So this is how email plays a huge role in marketing, and that's where you can use it in a customer value journey. Now that we are aware about general marketing, now that we're aware what email marketing is and how can we leverage it to convert customers from the awareness stage into a convert stage and still keep engaging with them, it's very, very important for us to know the 3 types of email marketing. So you're wondering, what are the types of email marketing? There are 3 types of email marketing. And those types are called transactional email, relational email, and promotional email. Probably you already are getting your ideas. Okay, transactional, it seems like it's related to money, right? Something about invoices. Does it sound like billing, right? Probably that's what's in your head right now. Relational, is it about building relationships with the customers? You're right, probably. And then we have promotional emails, very, very self-explanatory. It's about promoting your services, your products in a very creative and engaging way. Now we're getting to the real question. What is transactional email? So as mentioned earlier, transactional emails are everything that includes invoices, receipts, login credentials, billing notifications, cancellation requests, and etc. Usually these kind of emails are sent from a customer service team. So this is not really what marketers do. This is a job of customer service team, customer success managers, and so on. So basically anything that deals with system issues. Let's say you're having problems to log into your SGBVA account, right? You're messaging to the customer success and they're sending you the email. So these are all parts of transactional emails. Next one, we have relational emails. So what is relational emails? Relational email is anything that includes weekly newsletter, anything that is about content emails, anything that is about product updates, anything that is meant to nurture relationship with customers. What do we mean by nurture relationship? It means to keep the relationships warm, keep relationships nice, keep your guests warm and keep your guests in a good, hospitable environment, right? That's what's the goal of relational emails. So as we can see, right, we have a picture, new recipe for your rotation. So basically, this is New York Times Cooking. They have like a blog about recipes. And what they do with their customers is that they send them weekly newsletters about the recipes. So this is their way of keeping relationships and providing value about the recipes. That's one of the examples. Then we have another brand, right? As we can see, there's a travel agency. And I think travel agency is something very popular in Indonesia. And I think you can already get an idea and probably some inspirations. So let's say you have a travel agency and you have customers. Your goal is to keep these warm relationships with them, right? Let's say you have customers from Europe. They're coming for summer to Indonesia. And once they're back to winter, right? Like once they're back to their home countries, your goal is throughout the year, right? To keep sending them this amazing hot tours, about the history probably of Indonesia, Borobudur Temple, about probably Bali, Jogja, And, you know, this is a way for you to establish this relationship. So let's say your customers from Europe be like, oh my God, I can't wait to get a vacation and book another trip with this travel agency. Yes, so this is how relationship emails work. And we have another example. So this is about the medicines. So it's basically about the doctors. And what they do is also very interesting to nurture relationships with their customers. They send, you know, aside from sending interesting contents, you can also send company announcements. And this is very similar to social media marketing, right? Sometimes you don't only post things on social media about, you know, the product, about some interesting history. You also sometimes share about behind the scenes, the company announcements. And this is something that you can also implement in your relational emails, just to show the human side of your company, right? To show behind the scenes. So this is also one of the great tactics for relational emails. So as mentioned earlier, examples of relational emails might include sales announcement, right? We can also be like, you know, soon we're having sales. Are you excited, right? And we can also have welcome emails. Let's say someone just subscribed, made a purchase from let's say some website, and now that you have their email, you can be like, hey, welcome, you know, we're excited to have you here. We're a community of, I don't know, women, and yeah, we're really happy to have you on board. And this is how you kind of make your guests feel welcome. Then we have surveys and reviews requests. Let's say the more you have these great connections, you can send sometimes surveys and to your customers and be like, you know, we're having this small survey. Would you like to give your feedback, you know, or like your opinion about this? And if they, you know, if your relationships are really great, probably you might receive some interesting insights from your customers. You can also, you know, share about the social updates, what's happening about, you know, you can also reshare some of your content from social media. Contest announcement, let's say you are having some giveaway, you know, something interesting, you can definitely send it, you know, it's going to be a part of your relational emails, and as well as referral requests. So now these are all the parts of 3 types of marketing and the examples. Now, the very interesting one, the famous one, is a promotional email. So what is promotional email? Very, very obvious, right? Very, very self-explanatory. The goal of promotional email is to drive sales, is to share about the product updates. We already have these 2 amazing self-explanatory images. The first one is from the e-commerce brand that sells shoes. As you can see, they have up to 40% off for the selected boots, and they're sharing what kind of boots are on a discount. And this is a great opportunity to drive immediate sales. We're also seeing another website, another brand. This is a bookstore. They're also sharing, okay, 15% of any items. That's also a great way to, you know, and they're also providing like 15% off. This is also a great way to encourage your users to purchase. And just to let you know that it's very advised to establish connections with your customers first through relational emails before sending promotional emails. And it's also not advised to send promotional emails all the time, because what's going to happen? Your customers might get really unhappy about it. They might feel like they're being sold too much to, and to be honest, nobody likes to be sold to. They might unsubscribe. That's why you need to combine. You need to have a chance. You need to give them some value first through your relational emails. Share something useful with them before promoting something. So these are some other examples of promotional emails. This is Sephora. I'm sure everybody knows Sephora. As you can see, so they are saying, hurry, or you might miss out. This is a great headline, right? To give you this sort of urgency that, okay, they're having some discount. And they say, choose a free surprise trial site with any 25% online purchase. And they also providing the code, surprise me. That's sounds interesting, right? Like most of us might be very compelled to try that. And then we have another one, we're saying, oh, sales ends up to 60% off. And it's, as you see, there's a great strategy that, you know, the 60% off is wide and seen so that people are very interested. Usually when we see such big numbers, we're immediately drawn to make a purchase. Examples of promotional emails, we have sales announcements, obviously. We have new product announcements, some product that you've launched, right? I'm sure everybody's familiar with Rare Beauty, the celebrity brands. Was it Road Beauty, right? They always also announce new products, right? And we know that they do it mostly from social media, but if you join their list, they're also doing it through the email marketing. They are announcing the new products. Webinar invitation, this is something the brands like SGBVA could do, right? Like promoting the webinar invitation, event announcements, trial offer. Let's say if it's some sort of an app that you've subscribed to, I don't know, probably Duolingo, right? There's going to be some discount and a trial offer, upgrade offer. This also includes, let's say Duolingo. I'm sure everyone is familiar with Duolingo. Let's say Duolingo is upgrading, you know, they're having some probably better offers if you upgrade the package. They might also, you know, use a chance to send you a promotional email, and obviously promotional content. Well, these are the parts of email marketing. And now that we're aware about 3 types of email marketing, it's also very important to understand the metrics and KPIs. And I'd like to let you know that we're going to go deeper into this in our next modules, because this model is mostly about introduction. This model is about knowing the general knowledge, the fundamentals. And as I said earlier, it's aside from crafting emails, aside from having different strategies for your email, it's also very important to track the success of your email campaign, which means you need to see what are your KPIs, right? If we're talking about social media marketing, you have some KPIs, right? What are your KPIs? It depends. If you're in the, let's say, awareness stage, your KPIs would be the views or maybe the likes, right? In some companies, they require the engagement rate, right? So, you know, these names are the KPIs of social media marketing. So what are the KPIs of email marketing? And how could you know that your email marketing campaign is successful? Well, we can know it through these metrics. So there are totally 5 metrics. We have open rates, we have click rates, we have click to open rates, and we have unsubscribe rates, and we have spam rates. Obviously, unsubscribe rates are also a part of the KPIs, and I would like to tell you why. So let's start with open rates. Open rates basically means the number of unique opens you get on email campaigns, right? When you send an email campaign, you have a sort of a metric, a sort of, let's say, insights, right? Analytics, where you can see once you send out the email to your email list, you can see what's the percentage of your email list that had opened your email. So if you have good percentage, high percentage of open rates, that means your campaign was successful. It means you had a good copywriting, right? You had like really promoted something. You had a good writing so that they were compelled to open it. That's about open rates. Now we have click rates. So click rates means the number of unique clicks on a link in your email relative to the number of unique emails sent in the email campaign. So it's basically the combination between opens, like the combination between the clicks, right? When you send, let's say, a relational email that encourages people to read the blog post, right? Or read or open the Instagram page, right? You want to see how many people actually clicked through this. It needs to be relative to the number of people that are in the list, right? So it's basically the average. Then we have click to open rate. So what does this mean? It means the number of unique clicks on a link in your email relative to the number of unique opens of the campaign. So it basically means how many people click the link in comparison to the unique opens. So it's basically between opens and the unique clicks, and click rate is about opens and the number of people that were sent the campaigns. And then we have unsubscribe rates. So Unsubscribe rate is the number of unsubscribers your email has received relative to the number of unique emails sent in the campaign. So to how many people have you sent this campaign and how many of those people have unsubscribed, right? And then we have spam rates. The number of spam marks in your email has received relative to the number of unique emails sent in the campaign. So for the spam rates, it's as we know that most of the emails unfortunately end up in a spam. I'm sure most of us, if we open our Google, right, we use Gmail, most of the promotions that we receive from the brands or any sort of communication or any sort of email marketing campaign, they're always either in a spam rate or somewhere that we don't really find it. So your job as an email marketing is to be able to craft a compelling, a powerful email so that it doesn't end up in a spam box, right? And we're going to discuss this in one of our other modules. I will tell you the tips of how not to end up in a spam rate, what kind of considerations you need to take in order not to end up in a spam rate and in order to end up in the right inbox. Well, this is basically it about the actionable email metrics and about the fundamentals of email marketing. And I'd be really excited to dive deeper to this. And before this, I would really like to know whether you have learned anything useful from this. And to do this, I've prepared a task. Task is a great way for us to review what we've learned and to see how much we're willing to, incorporate. So are you ready to test your knowledge? Let's see. So we're having a written task, and your task is to answer to these questions below in a written form. So we have 10 questions. The first question, list the 3 types of emails. I want you to create a Google Doc where you could briefly or comprehensively explain what are the 3 types of emails. You need to also tell me what is a relational email. What is the purpose of relational email? And what are emails' actionable metrics and KPIs? Tell me, please, what is an open rate? And how can this metric help your emails? Number 6, where does email marketing stand in a customer value journey? Number 7, do you think email marketing is effective these days? Tell me why. Number 8, what are some examples of promotional emails? Number 9, what is transactional emails? Number 10, what are the stages of the customer value journey? Just to let you know, we have question number 5. What is an open rate and how can this metric help your emails? I did not explain you how can this metric help your emails. I just explained you what is an open rate, but I want you to think about it, to, just use your strategic mindset, your analytical mindset from what you've learned so far about email marketing. I want you to tell me, how do you think this metric helps the email? Well, this is it so far. Thanks everyone for attending to the first module, Introduction to Email Marketing. I'd be eagerly looking forward to receive your written task, and I'd be willing to read and give all of you the feedback and see what progress you've made. And I'll see you in our Q&A session, where I'd gladly answer to all of your questions and discuss some interesting things about email marketing. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye-bye.